Yo guys, what's going on? It's your boy Rye, and this is going to be short and sweet and to the point. I'm going to try to do this in one take, but I know it's been a while, and I mean a while, since we've done, well, pretty much a classic video like you're used to seeing on this channel. Things have been crazy between work, school, especially school, and some other life events that I just have no control over, but regardless, I'm not going to sit here and bore you guys. I'm going to bring back some classic video style, if you will. I'm going to try my best, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. And without further ado, roll that clip. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, our first PC in this flipping series, in this the new episode, excuse me, is this PC right here. Built this probably a month or so ago. This PC's already sold, but I figured we should talk about it still, as this is that new PC case that I had a review on, which if you haven't seen that video, go check it out, and let me know in the comments down below on that video if you like this case or not. I think this case is pretty sick, to be honest, and definitely something new, you know, compared to the usual fish tank style cases with that kind of angled piece there. But anyways, this is a PC flip that I built. Obviously, you can see a purple and black theme that we had in mind here, and I think this turned out pretty good, although I will say the purple didn't pop as much as I wanted it to. I would say this PC turned out really well, and honestly, I don't think it did as good as it should have when it came to selling. It did take a little while to sell this, but all in all, I think this PC turned out pretty sick, especially with this new case and those Infinity Mirror fans. This PC was rocking a Ryzen 5 2600 Zotac NVIDIA GTX 1666GB graphics card, 16 gigs of Corsair RAM, 1TB NVMe, as I try to keep that as standard nowadays as much as I can. And I believe this had either a 550 or 650 watt power supply. I've been buying a lot of power supplies lately and it's been kind of mixed. But either way, decent specs, decent little PC. And I almost forgot to mention, this also has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth built into the motherboard. Thought I should include that. And let me know in the comments down below if you guys would do a build like this with purple cable extensions. Me personally, I'm not sure if I'll do this in the future anytime soon, just because, like I said, it didn't pop. I think it looked pretty cool in person, to be quite honest, but it definitely didn't have that kind of wow factor, I guess. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of this PC right here. The build cost on this PC was about $373, and that is with taxes and shipping included. I know some people don't like to do that. Sometimes they do it without. I try to do it with taxes and shipping included. But yeah, $373 total build cost. I sold this PC, I want to say, for $550, maybe less. I'll correct myself on screen here now if it was a different price. But yeah, we made a decent profit on this PC, and this brings our profit just up to about $220. Now, I know what you guys are probably thinking, you know, where is this list, or how are you keeping track of this? And to be honest with you, I don't really have a list per se to keep track of all of this, and I'm going to tell you guys mainly the reason why. It's because I've actually had to spend some of the profit money here and there. And obviously, you know, being kind of this being like a side hustle and whatnot and building PCs and what have you, obviously I want to reinvest some of that profit money back in. So, you know, I've had to dip into it a little bit to buy more parts, but also I've just had, you know, like I said earlier in the video, a lot of stuff that's happened in my life in the past like month or two. It's just been insane. And so I've had to dip into it, sadly. But yeah, that's why I don't have a list for you guys. I will try to get one, especially come next year, or if you would like to call it even the next season, per se, when we start this FT10 season next year. Yeah, I would like to get a list and be more formal and try to get something a little bit more polished. But right now, everything's just kind of like, kind of go with the flow, really, to be honest with you guys, because with school and work and again, the other life events going on right now, I'm extremely busy and lots of stuff going on. So yeah, I don't want to bore you with that, but yeah, I just want to let you guys know that's why I don't have a list. But right now, as of selling that last PC, we were at $220 profit. This, of course, did dip down a little bit. I had to buy some things for the family, and also had to buy some other things that I just didn't have the money for. So it's a good thing it's there. We can use it. But, you know, unfortunately, it does suck to see it go down. But yeah, 220 after selling that PC, and then right after we sold that one, we went ahead and built this PC right here that you're seeing on screen. This PC right here, the build cost on it, I want to say was around, let's see here, $473. Again, that is with shipping and taxes included on a lot of these parts. So yeah, $473 gets us a Ryzen 5 2600, and we also have an Asus. I want to say this was a B550 motherboard, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. If I am, I will correct myself on screen. This motherboard did come with. Actually, no, excuse me. This motherboard did not come with Wi-Fi. I was gonna say it came with Wi-Fi. This motherboard was brand new from Amazon, and now that I think about it, yes, this was a B550, or excuse me, B450 a motherboard. Brand new from Amazon. It was a good deal. I think it was like $65 or something like that. Real cheap, real nice look. It'll go really well with the case that we're gonna be using for this build. But yeah, rocking a Ryzen 5 2600. RTX 2060 and 16 gigs of RAM, as well as a 1 TB NVMe, and I believe this had a 650 watt power supply in it from MSI, as well as some white cable extensions from Asia Horse. Now we're gonna move on to some next couple of clips here and see what style of case we're using for this PC build here. And for the PC case choice, we're using none other than the Sama Q5 RGB PC case. As you can see here, micro ATX form factor. Very common PC case on the market. It's kind of the bread and butter, to be honest, for a lot of PC builds. You can typically pick this up for no more than $60. Currently on some of the Black Friday deals that have came out, and even some Cyber Monday deals, you probably will still see this for under $60. It is currently $58 on Newegg. The black variant is actually $55 right now on Newegg, unless of course that price changes, which it probably will. But yeah, all in all, this is an awesome case for the money, great for budget builds, and even some high-end builds. Honestly, this PC case still, I think, looks really good if you do everything just right. And one thing I will point out here, you are going to notice this is kind of an all-white build, minus the graphics card and of course that ugly looking stock cooler, in my opinion. Yeah, we do have a cooler that was coming in. The one that I had ordered was actually damaged, which was kind of, I don't know, kind of crappy. So I had to return it, and we ordered a different one that I didn't really want to use, but I didn't really have a choice. I was trying to get these builds cranked out, you know. I didn't want to wait, so we did order a new CPU tower cooler, which in some future clips you will see, and it'll kind of just help blend everything together. And I think with that motherboard too, which might, to some people, might not blend in very well. I think it kind of like those silver kind of white lines streaking, it kind of blends in pretty well. Really, the graphics card is the only kind of like thing that's out of place, I guess you could say. But all in all, this PC turned out pretty freaking sweet, I think, in the aesthetics department, as you'll see some of these clips later. And performance-wise, you'll see this PC is definitely not too bad for what we paid for all the parts and everything. Alright, and now that we screw that up, let's move on to the benchmarks. For our first benchmark, we're going to be running Fortnite in DirectX 12 mode, as you can see here. Basically all low settings for the most part, and with Epic View Distance turned on. And as you can see here in this gameplay, we were getting anywhere from 150 to 170 FPS, which honestly I think is pretty respectable for an RTX 2060, given that it's now, what, 3 generations old now that we're on the 50 series. Definitely still pretty respectable for a pretty budget graphics card, especially if you can pick it up for near $110. Definitely not bad value here. And you got to remember, you're also getting DLSS, albeit it is first generation DLSS with this graphics card, but still, I think this is definitely respectable for the amount of money that you can pay, especially considering you can pick up a GTX 1660 for just around the same price, if not a little bit less. So considering you're getting DLSS, this is a pretty awesome performance. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now moving on to Warzone. This is the older Warzone, quote unquote, so to speak. I was playing this before the new Black Ops and the Warzone was released. So yeah, this is the old Warzone. I was using FSR, as you saw in this clip right here with FrameGen, just to see what it looked like. It didn't look horrible, but I will say it definitely isn't something that I would want to play with, just as far as like the quality goes. You could maybe up it a little bit to like quality or ultra quality, and with the frame generation on, and it might look okay, but in my opinion it just wasn't for me. But it did get around 150 FPS with FrameGen and FSR 3 turned on. But the rest of the video here and the rest of the clips will be with DLSS, and I believe it was on balanced. I'll have to go back and look at the video, But if it's unbalanced, that's definitely the best way to go with DLSS. Just in my personal experience, I have an RTX card as well, and balance is kind of what you want to stick with, especially when it comes to performance and also not sacrificing too much quality, excuse me. But yeah, this GPU and CPU combination definitely is not the worst, and I think it did pretty well, averaging around 100 FPS at most of the times during this gameplay, with little dips here and there into the high 90s. Definitely not bad, pretty respectable, honestly, for, again, a 2060 that's 3 generations old, guys. I'll keep saying it. This card's, you know, it's getting pretty old, but it's still got some decent performance, especially, again, if you can pick it up for around $100. I think this is definitely not a bad value still, even in 2024. Alright guys, now on to my favorite game, Halo Infinite. On here, we were getting some pretty respectable performance, around 75 FPS for some of the dips, 80 FPS on average. And I believe this was on all low settings, and that kind of reflects with the utilization of the GPU and CPU. GPU wasn't even hitting 100% utilization, which typically when I play this game on like any system, this game stresses the heck out of the system, especially the GPU. So I believe the reason it wasn't doing it here for full utilization of the GPU was because, again, I was on all low settings. Now, if I would have loaded the game up with medium, it would be a different story. The only thing is, when you first load the game up, it automatically chooses, so I would have had to reload all the shaders and what have you. Plus, I wanted to get the best FPS possible, so that's why I kept it on low. You will notice the temps. Speaking of the data up there at the top, the temps on the GPU definitely pretty toasty at 83 degrees Celsius. You typically don't like to see a GPU above 80. Anything above that, it's definitely toasty. It's not bad, but it's definitely not great. So I actually ended up repasting this graphics card, coming back to this game and retesting it, and it definitely ran a little bit better, around 77, 76 at times. So I just thought I'd kind of throw that tidbit in there. But yeah, I think this did definitely pretty good, again, for being 3 generations old. I think this graphics card did pretty awesome, and we do have those DLSS capabilities for other games that do have DLSS. This game, unfortunately, doesn't take advantage of it. It'd be cool if it did, because you get some extra FPS, more performance. Anyways, I think the performance is pretty good, honestly, for everything considered. I mean, this is around a $450, $470 budget. And again, we got an RTX card in here, some DLSS action, great upgrade path with an AM4 platform, and the power supply will be able to support easily a 30 series, if not even a 40 series card. And you could go all the way up theoretically to like a Ryzen 7 5800 or even maybe a 5800 X3D. So yeah, lots of upgradability with this PC here. Lots of potential, and honestly some pretty good performance for the price. And again, upgrade path, it could definitely take advantage of it in the future. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for the benchmarks, guys. So yeah, guys, this is the Ryzen / RTX gaming PC on top of that other PC we built. And this is also part of the flipping series, and I built this PC for $473 to be exact. Sold it for $620, I want to say, and that brought our profit up to around $340 roughly. I did have to end up spending some of the profit, but yes, this brought the profit up to $340. Definitely not bad, and this was a pretty awesome little beast right here. I think this turned out freaking cool, especially for how compact it is. I always love these Sama cases. What do you guys think about these cases? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you rock one of these personally, or do you love building these? Me personally, I don't mind building them. They're not too bad to build in. I think the aesthetics is pretty awesome. But let me know what you guys thought of this video in the comments down below. Leave me a like if you loved it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.